Hi everybody, this is Katie. I am so excited because today we are going to tour the final and complete Wondrous Wild West Island. Here, as I go from the entrance so close to resident services, you can see that I am in the main street of this really classic Wild West town. And I'm going to pop back here so you can see the flag, and we're going to take a look at the map. On this island, I have two character profiles, and then we have Sylvana, Kyle, T-Bone, Butch, Patty, Gabby, Brofina, Dobby, Avery, and Beardo. I had a lot of fun picking the particular villagers for this island, and many of them were chosen both for their houses as well as the character. You can see on the map here that all the buildings go along that really classic main street type of a vibe, and then we have the campsite and a lot of desert in the back. So let's start here at the main street. You can see the Able sisters. There's a little bit of a brick path, and then there's a wooden kind of a sidewalk right next to it. And down here on the other side, you can see the brick path kind of goes along. And I have all of these custom patterns that I have used to create a really scruffy desert feel. So really simple on the beaches here. I've just used a lot of those patterns and some really basic little designs, just adding in a little bit of the fencing here and there, a little bit of furniture, but nothing that's going to be so terribly strange. I didn't want to draw a lot of attention to the beach since clearly there wouldn't be an ocean in any kind of theme where we were doing Wild West. I still really like the way that all the patterns and codes looked when they were layered on the beach. Over here on the peninsula, I put in a little bit of a well and just trying to keep that simple. And then I'm back in front of the houses. Here you can see over by Kyle's house, I've put together a little bit of kind of a shop. I was thinking it would be a little bit of a blacksmith area. And then there are clothes here, cute little Western clothes for anyone who comes to visit the dream address. Down the rest of the street here, I've added a lot of simple panels to create the illusion of layering and distance and kind of adding in a little bit of different feel to some of the buildings. And then over here on the end is a little bit of a cafe by Sylvana's house. I imagine Sylvana to be a little bit of a baker. She probably makes all the bread for my little Wild West town. I'm going to head down the other direction. We're going to just walk straight through the main path again, and this just gives you another good look of the main street in town, and we're going to cross the bridge over here to the other area. Here along the path, I've put together a little bit of a covered wagon. I created a custom design that goes next to one of the stalls and the little horses. It turns out I can't get a really good picture of it, so I probably should have moved it someplace else, but I think the design came out really fun. And then right down from that, we have the last two of the villager houses with just some really good Wild West themed things in their yard. Down from those two houses here, we have the beach area, and I've done the same kind of thing, lots of custom patterns and weeds, and I've used a little bit of the rock path to come to this next building. I've put together a freestanding building here that's meant to be the jail for town. I really wanted the freestanding buildings in town, there's a couple of them, to sort of add to this big street perspective, but not necessarily be spaces that you would go into. And I was really pleased with the way that the jail came out. I'm just going to move upward from that a little bit, and we're going to go into the Pioneer Cemetery. I wanted this cemetery to look as if it was still being used, but had also been around for a really long time. So I have a few of the really good modern stones, but also some rocks and some fossils I've used to create an older look in those particular gravestones. Down the rest of the beach here is just the same, lots of custom patterns and weeds and a few scorpions now and then just to be super scary. And I actually do jump sometimes when I come up on the scorpions a little bit. They're an intense model, but they work really well for this particular island. If we move our way up from the Pioneer Cemetery, there's a little bit of an incline that goes up into a mountain area, and we have what I call the Prospectors Campsite. There is kind of a fun mine on the island, so I imagine that this campsite is for people who are up here panning for gold and looking for treasures. If we work our way down from the Prospector Campsite, we're just going to pass the graveyard again and work our way over to the other side. Up from the Main Street area, we have the second of the standalone buildings. This one is my saloon. I really love the way that the saloon came out. It's a little bit of a cutesy style building, but it still fits really well in the Western style island, and it has a little bit of a seating area next to it. I really wanted to include a saloon in the island, and I love the way that this building came out. It's one of my favorite places on the island. Here you can see there's a cute place to sit, and then over from that we have another little rock path that just leads down into the Main Street area and connects it to the rest of the buildings. If we work our way north from the Main Street area, we are going to come up onto my horse ranch. I really wanted my own personal house to be a part of a ranch area, and so we're going to come up here. You'll see my house. There's a little bit of a shed and an eating area, and then down into the ranch area, I made sure that all the weeds would kind of grow up and be a little bit taller so that it would look like a field, maybe even an intentional field down here, and have used all of the little horses to sort of represent the horses on the ranch. This is the reason why there are no horse villagers on the island, because I knew I was going to be doing a horse ranch, and I didn't want that to be quite so strange. I really like the way that this area came out, so I was pleased with the style. Up here by my house, you can see there's a lake over here. I really wanted the water source on this side of the island to kind of come next to the ranch and be as if it were a little bit more of a lush and green area compared to the rest of the island. Inside of my house, I wanted to keep things really simple, so I've closed off the additional rooms so that you can see just the one main room. I felt like that was a lot more representative of the Wild West time period, and I wanted the room to be a little bit of a cozy kind of cabin style area. I really feel like this room came together well, and I really enjoy being able to play with it in the game as I've been designing. The next thing we're going to do is wander a little bit through the desert area towards the mine. You can see all of the different custom patterns I've used, a few different things to kind of give the area a little bit of texture and life, and that includes some of the bamboo shoots that I have frozen at a small level to look a little bit like cactuses, a couple of bum cushions, again, kind of a cactus style plant, a few of the brown and orange flowers here and there. But back in behind the desert, there is a little bit of a sneaky secret. Here is my cave, and I have put the pipe so that it very conveniently can be seen. The pipe leads us into an abandoned mine. I've used the house of the second character profile on this island to create this inside mine area. The pipe is in the second back room of the house, and here in the main room you can see I've put together the inside of a mine, and I really feel as if this is somebody who is squatting in the mine, who is living secretly back in here in the midst of all of the stuff that was left behind. I have cockroaches that are running around and lots of spider webs on the wall. I really like the way that the mine came together. I feel like it has kind of a really good spooky type of a style to it, and I like the way that it is different but also coordinates with the rest of the feel and look on the island. Now that we're leaving the mine, we're going to follow a little bit of this track, and I think the little mine cart track here is a really cute addition to the deserty space, and it's going to lead back to the secret beach. I think this is perfect. I like the sort of lore of the island that maybe Red has been involved in hiding things or smuggling them onto the island using the abandoned mine. So I think that's fun. And then outside of that, we have more of this big, wide open desert space. I wanted the island to have a lot of big open areas specifically for the desert design. You can see a lot of the things I'm using there. There are a lot of the scorpion models as well as the termite mounds and a few of the other bug models just to be kind of interesting. I've been using the big moth models on top of the plateau. Just a lot of little things to give us a feel of kind of a wild desert land. I really love the way that the plateaus come up in the distance, and I'm so happy with the way that the Wild West island came out. Here are a few of my favorite clips from the Wondrous Wild West. I hope you found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.